So, it's been a month since I did my challenge in which I made 7 songs in 7 days, each of them in under 2 hours. And I really had been wanting to do a challenge like that for a long time to help me overcome my struggle of not being able to finish music. Doing this kind of challenge really forced me into that rapid thinking, rapid decision making mindset. And in this video I want to talk about the struggles that I faced, I want to teach you everything that I learned, and we will finish off by talking about some tips and tricks when it comes to making music quickly. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. My name is Matt Flank. Let's get started. So normally when I am making music for myself, I don't put a time limit on it. One question I got quite often is, how do you write a song so fast? And I will answer that later in this video. So when doing this challenge, sometimes I already had a melody or an idea in my head that I wanted to start the song with. But sometimes I didn't have any inspiration at all, and that is when I just went to my sample library or used a random plugin and started making some sounds. And that is how I started most of my projects for this challenge. Now let's talk about some of the things I learned. I'm going to divide this into 3 categories. 1 being starting a song, 2 working on it, and 3 finishing the song. So when it comes to starting a song, I would go to my sample library, browse drum samples, melody samples, use random synth presets and play some melodies and harmonies until I finally get something that I like. And what really helped me was to put a time limit on this of approximately 2 minutes, so that way I don't waste a lot of time scrolling for that first initial idea. This really helps to prevent your brain from going into the overthinking mode. And once you start overthinking, you probably know for yourself you don't stop. When working like this, I noticed that most of the times I actually already knew what I wanted to add, and since I didn't give myself time to think about it anymore, I just added it and moved on. Obviously, depending on your production skills, this is going to be less or more difficult, and you will really see that you start to improve in making songs faster. If you're enjoying this video, by the way, make sure to let me know by leaving a like or subscribing to my channel. So when it comes to working on the song, I already told you the first tip, which is just add something when it comes to your mind. Don't hesitate about it, just add it, and if it sounds bad you can always remove it later. But most of the times I can guarantee you it won't sound that bad at all. If you find this technique hard to apply, for me it sometimes helps to actually say out loud what I want to add. If you've seen some of the people making songs on YouTube, you see, since most of them are talking to a camera, they actually tell you what they are going to add. So acting like you are talking to a camera or even placing a camera in front of yourself, this will force you to start talking and stop thinking and start doing. That was complicated. Let's repeat that. This will force you to start talking and stop thinking and start doing. So then if you're working on the song, I want to suggest you to not work 2 hours in a row. Your ears will get tired, your ideas will get tired, and the song will not end up as good as it can be in 2 hours. Instead, I used a technique called the Pomodoro Technique, which is a technique in which you use Pomodoros, which is time frames of 25 minutes of work and 5 minutes of rest. I will teach you the very basics of this technique later in the video when we talk about the tips and tricks. So then we are getting to the final part, which is actually finishing the song, and for most people this is the hardest part. And let me tell you how to do this easily. I really like to make the part of the song first that has the most elements in it. From there I can create a structure and make this very clear for myself. And once I have a structure, I find it easier to remove elements rather than to add new ones. When you're adding new elements in the final stages of the song, this will force you into the creation mindset and take you out of the mindset that you have to finish the song. So now that you know my 3 steps to finishing a song, let's actually talk about some tips and tricks. I have 3 for you. The first one being, good enough is actually good enough. Don't overthink it. If you keep stacking elements and keep adding things that are just good enough, in the end you will actually have a good song. Don't overthink it. The next one is, and this is probably my favorite, embrace your failures. Let me say that again. Embrace your failures. Allow yourself to make a terrible song, because the only way to make a good song is by making 10,000 bad songs first. I want you to know that good is subjective and quality is relative. Even if you don't like the song, someone else might actually love it. And then finally, I want to teach you the very basics of the Pomodoro Technique. I recently finished reading the book and I've been applying this technique for the last couple of months to try and stay productive. And even though this doesn't always work, it definitely keeps me more productive than if I were not to use this technique. So fundamentally, you work in time periods of 25 minutes of undisturbed work and then 5 minutes of rest. This you repeat 4 times and then you are allowed to take a longer break, anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes depending on how tired you are. One of the main goals of this technique is to stay focused when you are actually working. So you're gonna try and get rid of all the distractions. And even when something comes to mind that you think cannot wait, it probably can wait. And when something comes to your mind that you really cannot forget about, just simply write it down and do it in those 5 minutes of rest you have after working for 25 minutes. So if you're interested in this kind of technique, you should definitely read this book as well. It's written by the creator of this method. I recently read it and I absolutely love it. And if you like productivity, you will absolutely love it too. So that is it for this video. I hope you learned something. If you want to see more videos by me, consider subscribing. I make videos about free plugins, production tips and tricks, making music and more. If you want to talk to me, come meet me in the comment section. I will answer every comment personally. And if you want to support the video, please leave a like to do so. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. My name is Matt Flank. Peace out.